Alright, good morning. This is Scott Dotson back again, doing a daily reading. Today I'm using a different deck. This is my Deviant Moon deck. Love this deck. A lot of people don't like it. They think it's dark. Um, yeah, it's a little different. It's a little strange. I do like it. This deck has a whole lot of meaning to me. This is one I'd done a lot of readings with when my son was before he was even born. This was the deck that I used right here to figure out if it was a boy or a girl, and I got a boy. Of course, it was correct, and a few other little things, dealing with him. Um, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use this deck today. I like using different decks. Um, Reading looks pretty good today. I've got one sword card and one wands card, and I also got one pinnacles card. So I'm going to flash them real quick. Oh, two of swords, bingo. Three of wands, and the page of pentacles. Now what I'm going to do is put screenshots up of these. So this way I can go ahead and talk about the cards, about what's going on with them, and we can go ahead and get through the video real quick. I know I make my videos a little bit too long sometimes, so I prefer to shorten them up a little bit, give you the information that you want. A lot of this is just basically about learning, especially people who are new or learning, or even if you've been reading for a while. It's always good to look at other people's stuff to see how they view things. Now, my big thing is, one, you get your keywords, your key phrases, and stuff like that you have with it. But the big thing is to look at the pictures, what's standing out, what's going on, and looking at the pictures. That's where you're going to get in tune with more of your intuitive ability, using more of, quote unquote psychic, which I'm not real big about um, that word itself, because I think we all have the ability. We all have different abilities. It's just the fact of opening up to use it. Some are clairvoyants, they see. Some are clairaudient, they hear. Some smell, taste, feel, or know things. Me, I happen to be a medium, so I have all of these. Not all mediums do, but it's just something, it comes to me however it comes to me. Different ways. I'll feel things, smell things, taste things, hear things, you know, see, whatever. So either way, when you take your time, and me, I always like to do a meditation. I always do a meditation. I won't do a reading without doing a meditation if I can help it. There's been a few times that I have. But either way, I like to go ahead and do a meditation, get my mind in the right mental states, the right mental frequencies, so that way you're tuning into things a lot easier. I also like to, I went through this in other videos. If any others watch some of my older videos from a different channel, they have I have some recent things I've done over the past couple months here about opening up your chakras. I didn't used to use chakras. Very, very important. You find out that things will work and run a lot smoother if you learn how to open up your chakras. A lot of it is a mental thing. Your focus, where you put your focus at, where you put your mental energy at, this is going to help your brain and your mind open up and work. Just like a belief system. If you have a belief, like people who, I don't believe in tarot cards or psychic, blah, blah, blah. So the thing is, their brain puts a mental block on it. They put a block, that energy cannot transfer from one side of the brain to the other side of the brain, or where it needs to within the brain. It never excuse my language, it never happens. So, and of course, when they never see it, and at the same time, then they're putting out an energy of, what they attract. So they're always going to attract situations to themselves. That's going to give proof. That's how your subconscious works. When you have a belief, you're going to attract yourself into situations. Your mind's going to put out the frequencies and the energy and attract you to situations to make that belief stronger and stronger. But in the reverse, when you do have a belief, with your psychic abilities, with communicating with those of past, with tarot cards, with Lenormand, with pendulum, anything of that nature, what you do is you attract yourself, of course, to things that help your belief system. That's how your subconscious works. It'll attract you to validate different things of what you believe. And it also, when you put those blocks in there, that's exactly what happens. You send out that frequency, and you're constantly attracting things that proves your belief. So either way, I'm going to go ahead and end this and get on the cards real quick. I keep saying I don't want to make this very long, but I end up doing it every time. So I'm going to go through the cards and tell you about what I'm getting for the day. Again, the Deviant Moon deck for the day, and I will be back after I go through the cards real quick for a small little ending, and I'll be back. Okay, the first card I have here is the Two of Swords. Now, this Two of Swords normally upright. This is a lot about a situation very very tense. There's gonna mentally you're going to block your emotions and so forth. This a lot of times you'll see the keyword stalemate, and at an impasse, being stuck when this card's upright. Anyway, for me today, it came up reversed. So what I have with the reversal is your action. You start moving forward again. You've made a decision on between two things. You've been kind of sitting on the fence about something, things that's been bothering you and so forth, or something on your mind. With this being air and the swords that deal with your thinking and your communication. Maybe you haven't said anything, you haven't done anything, you couldn't quite make a decision. This right here says you finally made a decision, you made a choice, and action starting, and you're going to start to move in a direction because your thought process, of course, you go one way or another, it determines how things come out in the end. So this is saying the stalemate's over, you know, changes are about they're about to happen. You came to a situation where you're able to go ahead and make a decision on something. Also, this is going to show consequences of a choice that you've made. You're going to start to see that. And what's really good with this entire spread here, the spread looks good for today, so it looks like the decision is heading in a positive direction for that. But the tension's been broken. I've also seen, not in this spread, but with different cards or around it, and depending on the situation, if somebody has made a decision on something, mentally you block your emotions so much that when this breaks through, you can have tears, you can have people who get upset and stuff like that as a release. I've seen that happen with this card right here. So when it comes up in the reversed. So anyway, what you're doing is you came up and you faced your feelings, what's been bothering you on the inside that you've been mentally blocking, whatever choice or decision, you face that, and boom, things are starting to take off and looking real good. Now, basically, because it is a two, you have to wait to kind of see how things unfold, how they happen, and come out. With this spread, things look like everything's very, very good. But like I said, the strong emotions that may have come up, you've went, and this deals with the mind and the head. You've went head on. You've faced it. You've taken care of the situation, and now your life, with whatever the situation this may be, can move forward. So looks very very clear. It was something you've been uncertain about for a while. You've made a choice. You made decisions on stuff. Anyway, what stood out to me immediately when I laid the card out was first, basically, it's probably reversed here on the screen, but the right side of the card for me, so the darker leg and the lighter body part stood out, and immediately to me, again, that is the left brain, which is your analytical thinking, how you're blocking things. You right, you're more emotional, so that tells me that boom, I'm drawn toward that, made a decision there, and things are looking good with all that, with the rest of the spread the way it's looking. So anyway, the skirt part kind of stood out for me a little bit, and I'm not exactly sure what that's meaning. I do have some things that came across mine. I really don't want to go out and say it, because of the way it's made. I'll go ahead and go into it. I really don't give a damn. But the way it's made, the central part stood out there, and the way it's hanging central there between his legs, it's kind of like, okay, you've got a set. You finally got a set, and you're ready to step up and move forward or something. So that's kind of how that hit me. Now, another thing, the swords seem to be going through the mouths of the guy there, and instead of being hush hush or having something in your mouth where you can't talk or whatever, that feels like finally, boom, it's come out and you're able to speak. Now, what did stand out with me is at the bottom of his feet. I don't know if you can see it here in the picture, but at the bottom of his feet, there's like uh, not really a silhouette, but it's a really faded, looks like an image of the moon with this deviant moon deck. But the eyes of it stood out. Now, most traditional decks dealing with the Rider-Waite system, normally the two of swords, they'll be blindfolded, saying, you're blindfolded, you're not looking at the situation, you're hiding from the situation. Just like a small child will close their eyes and think that you can't see them, that type of deal right there. But the eyes stand out and it's saying, okay, boom, you're facing it, you're looking, you're seeing things, your eyes are open, you're ready to go. So all that looks very, very good. Let's go on to the next card. Okay, the next card I have here is the Three of Wands. Now, the first thing that stood out to me the moment I laid this card down was, you see the beam that's coming out of the moon, like it's coming out of its mouth there. That stood out. Now, several things are going on there. First of all, the emotion I was talking about in the previous card. Okay, the moon deals with emotions, so that's something that's definitely going to stand out right there. But a lot of what I have in mind to do, and what I have in mind to work on, deals with working at night. So the moon stood out this card, and the next card I actually have the Page of Pentacles, and those are two things that jumped out to me. So it tells me, you know, it makes me feel as though it's nighttime, it's darkness, which makes perfect sense because the decisions I have made, I'm going to have to do them more in the evening. So anyway, a lot of this I've had some issues going on with the site and stuff like that. With the way traffic's come in and stuff like that. The traffic there's been a lot, but it hasn't been people who are super, super interested, and they haven't bounced around. So if any of you are readers out there and you're interested in working, definitely come to me. Shoot me a message, go to the site, sign up, get in touch with me. I'm trying to get enough people to cover a lot of space here. But my main thing was making the decision of quit going out and trying to do all the advertising, do everything I do with the site to try to help everybody else and say, the heck with it. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my part. I'm advertising, you know, uh, myself, and trying to help everybody else as well. And that's part of it. Even though it is a site that has traffic and stuff coming into it, you still have to advertise yourself. If you don't put yourself out there and make yourself known, it's not going to work for you. So anyway, this card right here, um, this is showing success of, you start to see the first signs. What stood, you look at these are three plants, flowers or whatever, and they finally bloomed. They've came out, and you're seeing the first signs of success that are coming with this, especially with work, especially with business or any type of new project and stuff. It's taken time. You've been trying to see things, and they just haven't worked out, or you've been, this is a three, you're more in a two stage of a lot of waiting to see it happen. Now, finally, you're in the three and you're seeing results for it. So, another thing that comes up with this is there's three. Normally, this is going to be three people. I get that a lot with readings. So, there's three people, and this being upright, there's cooperation. So maybe me and two other people, or maybe me and some of that different companies, or something. Whatever happens, either way, there's going to be success shown, and then more than likely, there's going to be two different entities involved, be it business, be it people, and so forth. So this card here is a very, very good indication that things are about to take off. Looking very, very good for me. Also, the fact that when I do these daily readings, it's in the central position. Central card, a lot of times, and not always, but a lot of times, depends on what stands out to me, but it's what things seem to evolve around. Like it's the center, and things work through that. And what did just get me was, this is a three, the one before that's a two. Um, the other is I don't number, personally, I don't number my court cards. So that's going to be a five. So that five tells me a lot of fighting and pulling. There's always a lot of action and a lot of crazy pull your hair out type deals that go on with a five. Busy, busy, busy. But by the end of it, when you move into the sixth, things start to settle down some. So could be a very, very busy day. Now, Another thing that stood out to me was his stomach. Okay, the first thing I think thought of that hit me, and I seen the cord that comes out of his stomach there, was chakras. Um, this would be closer to the third chakra area. The third chakra deals with going with your gut, things that I intuitively already know, because your third chakra is where your intuition will come in. Um, that's where a lot of people who are feelers, that's where they feel things. It comes in just below the navel area there. That's where your third chakra center is at. So that stood out, saying going with your gut, doing that. Now, another thing that stood out to me is you can look this thing he's wearing, whatever it is, but the hat part of it, it stood out. There's a like a monster type deal on the back side of it. Now, to me, I think a lot of this, what it represented for me when it stood out, was the fact that all this stuff of aggravating me, bothering me, eating at me, the monsters in your head that are going on, it's in the back of your mind. The things that are bothering you. Will it I or succeed with something? Will I fail at it? Blah 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 blah, and so on. And this tells me uh, it's there in the back of your mind, but the focus is on the forward part of his face that's looking down at the plants and seeing the growth. So that right there says, finally, all these things have been eaten at you in the back of your mind. You're finally seeing the results for him. Things are looking very, very good. And also, he has his eye does stand out on the part that's looking down. It kind of stands out of real bright and wide, as almost a surprise um, look, is the way it hit me. So anyway, dealing with this, anything of business matters or um, work situation, something that you're working on, what it is you finally complete that first stage. You finally get to a point to where you're actually seeing results. You can also you can count on teamwork and cooperation for others when this comes up, right? So it's saying a new job or work or anything of that manner, that good news is it's on the way. It's coming in. Things are looking very, very good for this. And also about publicizing yourself and getting yourself out there, because you're communicating. Now, you see the card before that, it was kind of a hush hush card. You have your mouth shut, you don't say anything. This one here is more about communicating, getting yourself out there. So and of course that helps things move forward. All right, going to go ahead and end this and go on to the next card. Okay, the next card I have here is the Page of Pentacles. Now, with this guy, not a whole lot really stood out. The moon stood out to me. Now, one of these little pipes on the little factory in the back here, the one on the left side, the one that's by itself, not the one that's over with three stacks, that stood out. So this first thing it tells me is, again, I've been talking about business and so forth, and having a single person, and it seems to be larger and bigger, so who's out there, who's doing the work, and things of that manner. So it almost makes me feel though as though it's a lot of it is me, of different things that I've done and so forth. So um, that's a good indication. And the moon, of course, stood out. Uh, that is, again, nighttime. And the more I sit and look at it, one thing, the coin stands out and the wrench stands out. So you're saying, what the first thing I get is receiving a little bit of money for the work that's been done. Now with the page, this is something that's new, and this is always receiving something new. Now the Page of Pentacles is about a small financial gain. You're dealing with pentacles here. It's also about education. There's a learning process that's going on. But the good thing is, with the Page of Pentacles, is someone who's very methodical. They take their time doing stuff, and they pay attention to details, a lot of details. And this tells me also paperwork. When I start talking about details and so forth, when I deal with the Page of Pentacles, I see paperwork. So if you're expecting messages with pages, a lot of times messages or things that come into you. So maybe something in the mail is going to be coming in. Now, if it was a different card, such as the wands, or especially with the wands, I get a lot of electrical communication. So it could be something over the internet or a phone call. A lot of times it's a phone call, and it's more. There's a lot of excitement. If it's swords, it'll be. Usually it'll have a sharper tone to it, whatever the message is. It can be a good thing. But with the pentacles, more laid back, more relaxed, very calm. It's also, again, Pentacles. the pages are new, so that something is new, something that's beginning, but you're starting out right. You're looking at starting something out on a good solid foundation, setting a good solid foundation, because you're taking your time, you pay attention to the details, and you're slowly working through it to move forward. And again, beneficial changes that are coming about on a more earthbound, and instead of it being a happiness on an emotional level the way it would come up with cups, this is showing physical results from it, such as, again, the pinnacle stood out, a little bit of money. You're going to make a little bit of money on this, um, and things of that manner. It also deals with a lot of books, learning stuff like that, contracts, any contracts and stuff. This guy here is good about paying attention, but it's also because it's a page, uh, it's newer, such as a teenager, as opposed to somebody who's in their 20s or 30s who's taken their time and already been through that first stage of process, and they know what to look for. This right here says to pay attention to every little thing that's going on. Um, but either way, what it's going to do is put you in a position to increase your income. Now, this looks great sitting right beside that wands card, and also about whatever decision was made. The decision obviously is heading in a good direction with that Two of Swords being reversed in the first one here. But now, a lot of times I'll get with this, you can find a child, or sometimes even a teenager, but a lot of times I find children with this. So good things. Well, it could be schoolwork that was just done. So we have a 8-year-old. She may come home and things that she's done has looked very well. There could be very, very good news with that too. And this is just like I said before. A lot of these are multi-layered. You'll see it within yourself. You'll see it with other people. And as always, it's with you and other people around you. So you pay attention to that, and you realize how the cards are speaking to you personally for that particular reading. The whole thing is to be able to slow down and tune in to pick up what it's getting. That's the reason I push meditation, meditation, meditation. I've said that from the beginning. If you want to be really good at giving your readings and picking up the information that you need, and not be all messed up over all the keywords, key phrases, different things you need to know, meditate. When your mind slows down, it'll give you the information, but meditation, you slow it down slow enough to grab it. It's like a mental process. It's a minute electrical energy that shoots through your mind real quick. It's like a jet that's flying by real quick. Now, if you slow that down and make it a bicycle that's slowly moving, you can pick up that information. That's a crazy little analogy I'm using right there. Either way, this looks very, very good. For good news coming in for today. Looks like it's going to be a good day, and we'll go ahead and end this so I can go ahead and finish this video up. I will be back here in just a second on video, and thank you very much. I hope this helps. All right, thank you for watching. I hope this helps, especially people who are new with reading tarot and stuff like that. Again, as I said previously here, meditation, meditation. Go in, look at the meditations, listen to the meditations. It may take some time. I mean, some people it may take a month, some it'll take 3 months, some it'll take 6 months. It all depends on how active your mind is with stuff. But I guarantee that if you use such as the meditations that I've posted, especially the multi one that I have for psychic ability, for the connecting with the spirit world, and also for connecting with your spirit guide, very, very important. Something I didn't really get into for a long time was I wasn't sure. I always picked stuff up as a child because I was a medium. I just kept my mouth shut about it, and I wasn't quite sure about the guides and stuff like that. But once you do make the contact and you allow the communication, it's pretty cool. You'll get answers to all kinds of questions, and instead of having to stress yourself and worry about the cards and whatever, the message will come to you. You'll hear things, or just however you pick things up, as I talked about before, all your clairs and so forth. So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Have a great day. I hope this helps, and I'm out of here till next time.